Today, we have Scott Haley with Airespring to discuss connectivity, communications, and security solutions. Welcome, Scott.
So I'm going to go through a bunch of stuff real quick, and it's because I got a lot to cover and we don't have much time. But don't worry about taking notes or anything like that. I will send a complete copy of this information to you guys so you can just have it as a reference. Um, Biggest thing I want you to kind of notice is while we still do, just like everybody else, a lot of transactional business as well, we really have penetrated the mid-enterprise market extremely well, especially over the last 5 years. And when I say mid-enterprise, I mean the customers that are somewhere between $10,000 to $100,000 a month. That's a sweet spot for us in the mid-enterprise market, and we write a bunch of those every single month. And then we're doing 100 to 200K customer about once a quarter, but we're seeing that frequency getting tighter and tighter. So just continuing to really grow in this market and really, the biggest thing is helping partners, obviously, to penetrate that market. So let me go to the next screen here. Before we get into services, I just want to talk about a couple of quick things that I think are differentiators for us. So one, we are privately held and family led. So three brothers started the company in 2001 and they own and operate the company daily. I think that's important with all the mergers and acquisitions going on. This is a family business. It's not for sale. So we're just very, very stable. We're also debt-free and profitable, and we have no outside investment in the company at all. Um, the other thing I want to talk about is a unified platform. So we can provide network, voice, and security services all unified and integrated into one platform. And I'm going to show you in a little bit, very briefly, a high level of Air Control. It's our IT service management platform. It's one of the things that's really helping to win the mid-enterprise business customer. In fact, I think you're one of your largest customers, actually. I'm working with Matt Hayes right now on when they saw Air Control. It's one of the reasons why they agreed to start doing business with us a little bit. So we're in the first stages of that business with them. Another thing that's real important is we're 100% channel. We have no direct sales team whatsoever. We do not compete with partners. All of our business, 100% of it, comes from you, the partner. So at the end of the day, you're our most important customer, even more than the end user customer. We do a lot of connectivity. We'll talk about that in a minute, but we're AT&T's typically the largest Platinum Elite wholesale customer in the United States. We do full global operations. We'll talk about that. I'll show you about our escalation list, which is pretty key. And the last thing is we pay spiffs on renewals. And while, larger accounts don't typically chase spiffs all day long, it's just nice to know. If you renew an account, it's treated like a new account. So we are not going to go through all this stuff here. I just want you to see we do a whole bunch of stuff. Really, we do everything except data center and colo and really big CCAS, everything else in between. But what I'm going to focus on today is connectivity, especially in the global market that we serve, and then our SASE platform with Cato, and then our mobility platform because we do full mobile phone service as well. So our superpowers. Global Managed Network Services, we do operate in 190 countries right now. Literally every country in the world except for the US government does not allow it. We are not just going to a couple of aggregators and getting pricing. We actually have more than 170 direct international carrier agreements ourselves. So we are a true global aggregator. We go all the way down to the ISP level, and we provide that service anywhere in the world on one invoice with one point of contact. So that's been real key. Again, talk about Air Control in a minute. And then the third thing is dedicated Tier 3 engineer AirPods. What this is any customer that spends $10,000 a month or more with us bypasses Tier 1 and Tier 2 customer service and support. They go straight to the NOC to Tier 3 engineers. And there's a pod there that's familiar with their account. So it's another reason why we're winning the mid-enterprise space. We're just supporting them extremely well. So this is Air Control. I am going to pull over a screen and we're going to see how this works real quick and see how we do here. You should be able to see this. This is the home page of Air Control. And what this means is a customer that has multi-locations and multi-services with us, every single location, every service comes into one pane of glass so they can see it. So an IT department, for example, this has 54 locations. It shows real quick, high level, 51 are healthy, 3 are impaired. If I click on that, we can get into, I don't have time right now, but we could get into what's wrong there. Is it maybe just doesn't mean a service is down necessarily. Could be something else that's going on. There's one location that has maintenance, um, power outage. We actually monitor the electricity in the United States. So we can tell not just if a device isn't getting power, we actually know if there's power to the building at that location. And then the same thing with weather. We monitor the weather because that affects latency, jitter, things like that with circuits. So we want to know about that when we have alarms going off somewhere. So this is the dashboard. There's a full analytics. Everything in here is also exportable. So a customer that has their own business intelligence platform, they can drop it into BI and massage the data as they want. Same thing, support cases. They can support cases open, closed, any date range. If they click on us on one, it actually will open it up and actually show you what's happening on that support case. If this was open, it would actually show you the timestamps, the notes that are happening, the work's being done. The other thing that's neat about this is the customer can add their own case notes into this. It's two-way interactive. So they can either get on the phone or they could actually interact on their laptop anywhere in the world with the support that's going on. Billing, every bill that they've ever received is here. Again, everything exportable. They can create billing inquiries. They can pay here, view their last invoice, everything. Orders tab, this is service delivery. So it just tells every single location, every order that's taking place, what the status is, it's completed or is it open. They can search by all that. They can also click on something if they, again, what they want to see timestamps from the project manager, then everything is there for them. Services, this is basically an inventory for the customer. So by location, every service they have with us at that location is listed. If you click on something, just shows what's there. That's got a cloud business phone system. This has got SD-WAN, internet circuits, and UCaaS. So shows the network provider, contract start date, end date, and the term. Just good information. Last thing is documents. This is a document repository. So this is any document the customer has signed with us is right here. So they can go in and look at it, creates a repository. Obviously, they can download anything that they want as well. And then the last page is resources. So this tells them who their customer success manager, that would be an account manager after they're up and running, their solutions engineer that was in the pre-sales design, that's listed there. And then the MSC and the project manager, that has to do with service delivery. So that tells them who their project manager is and the MSC while the service delivery is being turned up and provisioned. And then the last thing is this is our escalation list. And if you remember, I mentioned up front, we have an escalation list that goes all the way up to the CEO. This is a downloadable document. It's actually on our public website as well. So we want every customer to have this as well as any partner that wants to have it. So what we believe is, one, it holds us accountable, but two, it empowers the partner and the customer to say, you know what, if I'm not getting satisfaction from customer service at level 1, then I can actually go to level 2 myself. These are real phone numbers, real email addresses. So we want to empower the customer not to have to say, hey, could you escalate this for me on my behalf? Or, and then it never happens, that kind of stuff. We want to empower them to do it. And if it's not working at level 2, go to level 3. And again, it goes all the way up to the owners of the company, which is Daniel Lonstein at level 6, and then Avi Lonstein, the CEO. That's, again, real phone numbers, real email addresses. So just wanted you to see that. I'm going to pull this back away now. Hope that wasn't too fast. This has to do with, I'm going to skip through this. I just want you to see this right here. We monitor everything in the world, no matter what it is, where it is. And I think last year, our stats for our knock opening tickets proactively is 92%. So we typically know if something's happening before a customer ever does. And usually it's repaired before a customer even knows that something has happened. So I talked to you a little bit about global. This has become a big part of our business. It's one of the reasons why we are winning so much mid-enterprise business these days is because of our global service. I would estimate that probably 50% of our mid-enterprise customers have at least one or more international location. And like I said, we've got direct carrier agreements, about 170 plus. That number is continuing to grow. And we manage that all the way down to the ISP level. We can even do pro services in 130 countries, including high-level DoD work. We just installed two 400 meg circuits last year for the U.S. Embassy in Iraq, to give you an example. So I won't go through and read all this because you'll get it, but I want to give you an example of some customers that we have and the type of customers we're really growing with. So this is the ninth largest insurance company in the world. They have 59 locations, 9 data centers. 42 of those locations are domestic, 17 were international. One of the things that's unique about this is they wanted primary and backup connectivity at every single location everywhere, but they also wanted point-to-point circuits from each location going back to one of 9 data centers. So it's a pretty complex deal. And then we put one of our SD-WAN platforms, VeloCloud, actually at every single location as well. So here's just a little blurb from the network services director there. Did a phenomenal job rolling out 182 circuits in 1 year. We saved them $11 million a year moving from MPLS to SD-WAN. And he says 70 sites were implemented and no one knew there was a transition. Now, I'd like to tell you we never make mistakes. That's not true. You know how service delivery is tough. There's going to be mistakes that happen, issues come up, but that's why we have that escalation list. It's because we don't hide behind chat bots and email. We want people to be able to talk to a live person when they need to talk to a live person. So I want to focus right here on Cato. We've got full SASE and SD-WAN solutions. We've got 4 different solutions, but I want to talk about Cato a little bit. We brought on Cato again, in a wholesale fashion. We resell Cato Networks, their SASE platform. In just 20 months with them, we've become their largest reseller. We sell huge amounts of it. We still sell a lot of SD-WAN. However, we're seeing more and more customers are going straight to SASE since SASE combines security and SD-WAN together, but we can do any of the above. So I do want to spend just a second here. Why go through Airespring versus direct to Cato? Because a partner or you guys could go direct to Cato. One thing I would say is this, the customer gets everything, access to everything, including Cato engineers, just like they were going direct with Cato. However, there's some advantages going through us. One would be pro services. So Cato requires a lot of professional services on everything that they sell, and they're pretty expensive. So we've won quite a few cases where, even against Cato Direct, where our pro services were anywhere from 25 to 35% less than what Cato would charge directly. And so that's made a big, big difference. The other thing for the partner is commission policies. So Cato typically invoices customers quarterly or annually. So that's when they pay commissions, is after they've been invoiced and paid. With us, it's our normal invoicing process. So we invoice monthly, which means you guys get paid monthly. We also pay 2x spiffs on Cato services. That's a big deal. We just closed a 245K Cato deal in December. So you can get an idea what the spiff is when you're looking at that. The other thing I would say is we're much easier on getting agreements done with customers than Cato is. Cato's really tough. They don't budge much from their legal department on changing their MSAs. In fact, February of last year, they spent 6 weeks, Cato did, with a customer, legal to legal, never could get a deal done. So Cato called us and said, would you guys like to take a shot at this? And in 2.5 weeks, our legal department got the MSA done, and they're an existing customer. And it's a decent sized customer. It's about a $44,000 a month customer. So again, another scenario, 26 domestic sites, 5 international, using Cato, also using primary and backup connectivity at every single location. You're going to see that a lot with a lot of our customers, especially the larger customers. Most of them have got primary and backup connectivity with us, and then either SASE or SD-WAN in almost every single case if they're a large customer. Same thing, national healthcare providers, another Cato opportunity. DIA solutions, primary and backup at every location. Got 42 clinics across the United States. Same thing, one number to call every location. So just a simple thing to do. Last thing real quick before we end is our managed mobility. So if you're familiar with MetTel, which you may or may not be, we do full business enterprise mobile service. Everything from it can be BYOD, we can source all their equipment for them, not just smartphones, but also tablets, IoT devices, anything that has a SIM in it, we can do. So right now, it's just the United States. We're getting ready to add voice for Canada as well. We can do some data globally, but as far as when it gets into the actual business mobility service, some other advantages they get with us, we use all three carrier networks, on the same account. So whoever's got the best signal for that location, we can use. We can do dual SIMs for customers. Again, one number to call as far as that. Typically going to save them money, both hard cost and soft cost. It's becoming a big business real quick for us. So if you guys have any customers that are using mobile service, and I don't know anybody. In fact, I think Gartner and some other leading analysts have estimated that actual wireless services, wireless connectivity is going to exceed wireline activity sooner than 2030. Some even say at 2028, which I think is pretty impressive. I won't go through and read this, but it's a mobility solution. You'll be able to read it. Just a recent win. It's a good size little win for us. They serve 90,000 customers. They're a financial services company. So, but I'll let you read it on your own. We've already talked about the escalation list. So the last two slides are this: why Airespring? You're going to have partners that ask why Airespring, and it's just a simple statement here. Airespring simplifies the complexity, the deployment, and the management of IT and the full technology stack. And it simplifies it not just for the customer, but also for the partner as well. And then how do we do it? Global network connectivity, full cloud communications, security solutions, mobility solutions, and it's all managed on one platform. That's what Air Control is. I will stop there. All right. Questions, thoughts, comments?
Right, I've got a couple for you. Hold on, we'll start with this one. You are channel only. Do you get leads? Do you share those leads?
We do not get leads. The only thing, and because we don't advertise, it's rare that a customer comes across our website. If they do, our actual process is the channel manager will contact that customer, or prospective customer, qualify it. If they were to win a deal, we actually then assign a partner in their region on that account. So it's kind of one step better than a lead, but we don't have a lead generation program.
Which types of customers see the fastest ROI with your solutions?
I don't know if there's a specific type customer, to be honest with you, because our core services are going to be network connectivity and managed security, SASE, SD-WAN. And so it's when you get down to it, it's the plumbing of a business. It's what every business has to have. So what I would say, it's the business continuity and building a resilient network that is the ROI, because you minimize downtime. Because in today's world, everything is as a service. You don't have things on premise anymore. So if you don't have a stable network that is resilient and connects all the time, then you can't run your business. So that's what I would say the ROI is that. I think Gartner says right now, a small business, an SMB in the United States, for every hour that their network is down, they average $8,000 to $20,000 loss of business, or cost. Let me put it that way. Cost, because you got to count payroll, because you have labor sitting around waiting for the network to come back up so they can do business. So that would be one of the biggest ROIs, is building a resilient network.
Which verticals are working well for you?
I'm going to answer the same thing as before. We don't have a specific vertical because our core services are needed by any customer of any size. It doesn't matter if they've got one location and one circuit, or they've got 1,000 locations and 1,000 circuits with us. Um, we're not dependent upon a business type. We serve all kinds. We've got a lot of healthcare and financial as well, but there's not a specific vertical that anybody needs to focus on. It's anybody that needs to have their network up all the time.
Okay, next question is you talked about your major products. Are there niche solutions Airspring offers that we need to know about?
Um, there are some, I would say, one is a product that we've just released recently called Reboot, and it allows us to put a device on premise that will reboot switches, network appliances, things like that. So you don't have to send out roll a truck. The customer doesn't. Excuse me. So that's a relatively new product that's getting a little bit of splash. Um, Connectivity with us, we do any kind of connectivity. I mean, DIA, broadband fiber, broadband coax, satellite, both Viasat and Starlink, WISP, fixed wireless. I mean, there's no connectivity. 5G LTE on premise with AT&T or Verizon. We've even got unlimited plans for those as well.
Okay, what is the typical savings for mobile?
Typical savings, there is no typical, and the reason why every mobile deal is an ICB because there's so many different factors. It depends what they want done. I mean, if all they want is just mobile plans and that's it, that's one thing. Typically on the hard cost, they're going to save anywhere from 5 to 20, 25% of hard cost. You got to also count soft cost though, because if they're trying to manage it on premise, that's where companies really see a lot of value. IT departments don't want to have anything to do with mobility. And what we see in the SMB customer, that customer with 500 or less employees, they usually have one person, an office manager type, or somebody trying to manage, and literally all they're doing is paying bills. They're not managing anything. And so we're going to manage everything because they have a full portfolio, they have a full TIM access, a portal that goes in where we can track things, download analytics, see devices, for example, that were supposed to be disconnected but are still billing out there. They're just sitting in a drawer somewhere. One of the big savings you see with larger customers is anywhere from 5 to 10% of their devices are actually sitting in a drawer somewhere. So they've had a layoff or they've let somebody go and they don't retrieve that device. It's just stuck in a drawer, but they keep paying the bill on it. It's crazy. We actually will take those devices and warehouse them. We'll clean them up, refurbish them, and then repurpose them so that when the next employee is hired, they don't have to buy a new phone. They actually can use one of their existing phones, bring it out. We do full staging and kitting and send it to the customer, fully ready to go live.
Where are the partners getting leads for mobile?
I can't answer that. I have no idea where they're getting leads, except that every customer that they have has mobile service. Period. The only thing I would say is when you get into mobile device as a management service like this, the highest value starts at about 100 units. So don't think of just smartphones. They can be tablets, everything combined. But at about 100 units or devices, that's where you start seeing some real value happen. Now, we have customers already that are down in the 50 device range and a couple that are in the 25 device range. They just literally it's a small office and they've got 20 something employees and they don't want to manage any of it. So we can do it no matter what. But I would say the highest value is going to be at 100 devices or more.
What is the turnaround on mobile quotes?
Ooh, it depends on the size of the quote. Obviously, the size of the opportunity. Typically 3 to 7 business days, unless it gets into a really large, complex deal. Because remember when I talked about the ICB, we have to actually really go through full discovery. We have to collect all of their invoices so that we can load them into a system to do a full analyzation of it. The other thing we get into is, does this customer have existing contracts that we need to look at trying to buy out? Because that affects some timelines and it just takes time to negotiate that. But I would say is, a typical thing would be 5 to 7 business days.
Okay. And when a mobile order comes in, does it go out the same day?
Oh, if they're an existing customer?
Yes.
Oh, you know what? Probably not, probably within 24 hours. I don't know the exact answer to that. There's two ways that they can order devices. They can call in and request it being ordered that way, or they can log into their portal and they can actually order devices themselves. Um, I, I'll have to check on that. I'll make a note. I would think it's within 24 business hours, but I'll double check.